Okay, y'all, good morning, good morning. Saturday morning, not much going on. We got iffy rain. We had rain, I don't know, early this morning, about 3 or 4 o'clock. It rained a little bit yesterday afternoon, nothing crazy, but just enough to keep the grass growing, y'all, and that's what we want. We want the grass to freaking grow, man, to grow. So we're not working today, so to speak. I got $150 yard I'm going to go over here and do real quick. The one I do it by myself every 2 weeks, every other Saturday, and it pretty much pays for my to fill this truck up and to fill the other vehicle up to get started on the week. And I use this span of time here also to fill the mower up that needs gas in it, like usually the one that's on Zach's trailer. What the hell? Hit that stupid rock, man. Golly. That stupid rock, man, has been in my way. I need to move that rock. Don't hit it. Okay, y'all, sorry about that, man. So yeah, Saturday, man, I'm just going out here to do this 150 real quick. Yeah. So on the video yesterday, I noticed a lot of people would have done things a lot different. A couple of critical things that I didn't really, explain. And keep in mind, I'm not a storyteller. I'm just turn the camera on. So one thing about that job yesterday is it's a regular customer that pays me $1,200 a month to do the 2 big properties that they got. Okay, and then about once every month, about once every 6 weeks or so, they'll pay me an additional $400 a cut. So over the course of a season, I'm getting, well, you figure I can do the math real quick here. There's 8 months at $1,200 a month. Okay, 8 times 1,200, right? That's $9,600 right there. Okay, and then there's about 6 times that I cut the back 40. So we can add another 6 times, and that's an additional $200 each. So it's additional $400. So 4 times 6, so I add $2,400 plus $2,400. So you're at $12,000 a season, and that ain't counting when I do the bushes. The bushes over there, I normally charge $1,000 twice a year. So that customer is spending roughly $14,000 to $15,000 a year. And y'all see that we're able to do the properties, and with the mowers I got and everything, I'm talking about the bigger properties, with the mowers I got and everything in just a couple of hours. So I just kind of want to throw that out there when the guys are coming at me, not at me, but in the comments they're saying, well, man, I wouldn't have done this, or man, they too cheap, to hell with them, and and all this. You got to look at the bigger picture. Then if you're in business for yourself. Now there ain't no plan B for me, so I don't want to lose customers that I alienate because I'm trying to make I'm really just trying to make what I'm supposed to make. But see, you got to look at it from the bigger picture. To them, $300 or $400 on that little property yesterday, that wasn't going to happen. I could tell. I've been doing this a long time. I could tell there was no way that he was going to spend $300. I knew that. Of course, the scope changed too. Because I went from thinking, okay, we can really clean this place up, spend a half a day here, 3 or 4 hours here, and we can, you know, for $400 or so, and we can really make it, you know, make it pop better than it was. And we did okay, but we didn't make no money. So, but if I had insisted on 300 and he get an attitude, then I may end up losing the 15 grand a year customer. It can happen. It's happened to me more than once, more than twice, probably more than 5 times, where I'm doing a customer's property and it's a big property or whatever, a lucrative property, and I got it down to a science, and I'm making good money on it and everything, and then all of a sudden they buy another property and they send me over there to do that other property, and then I charge them accordingly, and they may pay it, but then I end up losing all the properties that I'm doing for them, because, well, the way they're looking at it, man, I'm giving you all this work, man, you need to give us a break, you know. And, you know, I understand that, and that's why yesterday I couldn't be mad at nobody but myself. Not really mad, but just, you know, understanding that I was in a bad spot and I needed to not lose the big customers, and I needed to take that lump, because I was going to take a lump over there no matter what. Once I pulled up over there, there was no win. Once I mean, even if I tell them, no, I don't have time, and that's probably what I'll do next time. I've done that before too, and that will keep me out of the mix. And sometimes you can lose a customer behind that too, because they'll hire somebody else and they figure out that somebody else is cheaper than you, they like them better than you, they got better equipment than you, whatever, you know. It's happened. That's happened before too. So, you know, that's where I'm at with that, man. I did the best I could do based on the information I had. And a lot of guys were saying, hey, you should have went down there and looked at it and gave them a price. I don't give prices over the phone, man. And I wasn't going to drive 30 miles one way to go look at it just to tell them, okay, this is what I'm gonna charge. You know, I needed to have the ability to do it when I went, because you're talking about, if I go down there just to look at it, and I tell them, I call them while I'm there, and I don't have a trailer or nothing, I'm just by myself, just looking. I done spent 45 minutes on the road one way, and I called them just like I did yesterday. I called them and I said, okay, man, my number's going to be different in my head though, because I'm thinking, man, I'm about to come back too. So instead of me telling him, you know, $300 or $400, I'm going to tell him $400 or $500. And y'all, the reaction that he had over $300 or $400, well, he's going to have that reaction and more over $500. He might even think I'm trying to beat him. And you don't want the customer to think you're trying to beat him, no matter, you know, rather. I don't know how to put it. I guess their perception is their reality. So if he perceives that I'm trying to beat him, whether I am or not, then he's going to think that. And then again, you're compromised all the big customers. It's real tricky when you go from the big lucrative stuff, and that same owner ends up with a property that's not so lucrative for you. So we'll play it on out, man. Let's just play it all the way out. So I go down there and I look at it. I ain't got nobody with me. I ain't got no tools with me. I ain't got nothing. I'm just going. We work all day. I hop in the truck and I shoot down there. Right. 35 to 40 minute drive one way. Okay. And on the way back it would be worse, because I would be hitting all the traffic. Because obviously, if I go after we get done working at 2 or so. I get down there around, you know, 3:15, and then by the time I look at it, call them and everything, it's after 4. Now I'm in the traffic, Atlanta traffic, coming back to my house. So that 40-minute drive that took me that afternoon earlier is going to now take me an hour and 15 minutes. So, you know, and nothing was going to change. See, by me going up there and looking at it, it was just going to cost me more money. You know, by me going up there and looking at it and giving them a price, And then if he'd have said, you know, like he did yesterday, hell no, you tripping, man, or something like that, then what am I going to do then? Am I going to have to concede? Well, granted, I'm not as invested in it, right? Or am I? I'm still vested because, well, I drove up there and I got to drive back. But then my scenario is, okay, the $150 would not have been enough to even cover my expenses if I had to come back. Well, Ray, the best thing to do was just not do it. Well, that's true. That's true in hindsight, of course. But you have to be thinking in terms of, okay, you don't want the customer to, at least if it's just me and I got a disclaimer, you don't want the customer to, well, you don't want to alienate the customer because, well, no, I can't go that far or whatever, you know. Well, alienating the customer is better than taking a hit. Well, I don't know about in this case. It might not be. Because alienating the customer is going to knock me out. It could knock me out of a lot more work. People with money, they spend their money on how they want to, and they spend their money like they want to. And if they feel like I done got a smart with them or an attitude with them, or I'm not being, you know, transparent with them, and they really believe that, no matter if it's true or not, then guess what? I'm going to lose the customer, maybe right away or at the end of the season or whatever. The customers have got to trust you, and you know, and that's something that you build. But anyway, I was gonna, no matter what, I was doomed for failure over there, doomed. Because the only way that I would have told them that I couldn't do it, I wouldn't tell them, oh, I don't go that far. That wouldn't be the right thing to tell them. You might have to tell them just a little white lie, like I don't have time, or that kind of thing. You know, that would be a better thing than telling them, no, I refuse to go that far for you, the customer that pays me $15 grand a year. You don't want to alienate the customer like that. That again, well, Ray, you can't tiptoe around like that. Well, it ain't really tiptoeing around. It's picking your battles. You know, I'm gonna pick my battles with my customers. And the more money that a customer spends, the more picky I'm going to be about the battles. If it was a $50 yard or $60, $70 yard customer, well, then I'm a lot more prone to drop that, you know, than I am a customer that pays me, you know, $1,200 a month for properties that I have got down to a science, for properties that we've been doing for a while, and we know exactly what we're doing and how to attack the said property. So that's the long version of why I did what I did. And I did not want to take the time to go down there and just look at it. I don't like doing that, man. I don't. And rarely. Now on a Bobcat job where I know they're spending thousands, I might have. But see, I knew they weren't going to spend no thousands. I felt like I'd have been lucky, you know, before I ever talked to them. I didn't really know. I felt like I'd been lucky if I'd have gotten 500 out of them. That was my thinking. But I could live with 500. But apparently I can live with 150. So, you know. Now, that can do one or two things. And it's going to be walking a tightrope the next couple of cuts that I cut their big properties on. Because they might come at me and, you know, you never know. You know, they might come at me and try to pull that same thing on the big properties, try to lower the money on it, on the bigger properties. You know, like, you know, no, Ray, we ain't going to pay that no more because they saw that I folded on the other property. You see what I'm saying? But see, I won't fold on the bigger properties. And, you know, it'll just have to fall where it falls. But that can happen. Or they can be like, you know, dude did that property, drove all the way down there to blah, blah, blah. And he did that property, and he actually did it pretty good based on the pictures that we see, and that you know, that he took before and after, and he didn't really, you know, it didn't cost us a bunch of money. So they may be grateful, right? You know, that you never know. I mean, I don't know, man, you know. So that's kind of, you know, what the underlying thing is, you know. But I'm not gonna, I don't know, man. A lot of the comments were like, you know, well, I just wouldn't do it. Well, you know, if you're of that mindset, then you may not be able to hold on to the more lucrative customers. You may be able to, but you may not. I pick my battles, like I said. So, and that's just a battle, since I was already there, that I just wasn't willing to keep at it, man. Because of all the reasons I just said. So, and I also knew, because I'm always, you know, thinking about how to make more money in a minimal time, and the routing, the density, and what's going on tomorrow and the next day and the next day. I realized when they told me to $150 that I was gonna, well, okay, we're gonna have to do some other properties on the way home to make this day even worthy of us coming out. So basically, I got, you know, the middle class properties to pay for the millionaire property, pretty much, to where I didn't take a huge hit yesterday. So, but make no mistake, I didn't make anything like I thought I would. But we'll make it. We'll move on, and you know, sometimes it just be like that. Another thing that could have happened, and I know I'm just yicky yakking. Another thing that could have happened is I could have went down. And it might still happen. Is I go. We do the yard for the $150 yesterday. We get it, you know, halfway cleaned up, and I did some spraying over there because I just can't leave things half-assed, man. I just can't, man. You know, I'm already there, and I know they don't really know what it needs, and I do, and I just, you know, yeah, I don't know, man. I just didn't want to leave it half done, or you know, I wanted to give the curb appeal. But another thing that could have happened is, and it may happen, is they may call me back to go back up there again, because it appeared, now I don't know for sure, they sent me pictures, but I don't know if somebody else took the pictures. It appeared that they have not been over to the property. And I might be wrong, but that's what it seemed like to me, because if I'd been them, there's no way that I would have left that back all grown up like that. No way. Not when I got a guy there that can knock all that stuff down and spray it. Because that ain't gonna do nothing but get bigger and badder. And they did not notice. Another reason why I think that they had not been there is that that water trickling out of that faucet, on the ground and in the back, that's feeding that wooded area with nice water 24/7. And this is the type of owner that's gonna, well, he would see that, and he would be like, man, why is all this water here? Because he's all about saving money. And even if you know, that tells me that because when I mentioned to him on the phone, or to them on the phone, that there was water leaking out of that faucet in the back, he did not know that. He said, oh, really? I'm like, yeah, man, and it's dripping pretty good. You know, it ain't gonna break the bank, but you know, nobody wants water dripping out of their faucets 24/7 when I don't even think nobody lives there. I don't know. But that's just a follow-up, you know. But today we're on to another day, and you know, as far as I know now, I did not alienate the customer as of now. But when you go to a customer like that, where they're a little bit difficult, then well, I can get difficult too. But I didn't see no point in getting difficult in that particular situation. I just didn't see no reason to, you know. There was no point in me, you know, coming back at them, especially since I was already there. But I wouldn't have came back at them. I mean, they spend too much money with me. You know, a customer that spends that kind of money with me, well, you're going to take a little more flack off of them, a little bit. And they ain't going to talk about my mama or nothing. But, you know, you're going to take a little more flack off of them than somebody that's, you know, playing games with the $60 yard that you ain't hardly making nothing on, and there's not any other work there. See, even though, you know, that $60 yard might be more profitable, you know,